The Supreme Court, where individual rights are supposed to be protected, think it's fine if government invades our financial privacy, spies on us in our bedrooms, regulates church schools, and restricts our free speech. Meanwhile, at the Congress, everything is up for grabs. Everything is up for grabs, as long as it's yours.
Welcome to On Second Thought. I am Brianna Moore, co-hosting today. Thank you for joining us where William J. Wagener gives you reason to have second thoughts. And now for the host and producer of On Second Thought, the good guy in the white hat, William J. Wagener.
Now here's a report we the people should be concerned about.
Holy shit.
The interesting part is the local reporter in Miami didn't get his own footage, but it was a private individual that got the machine gun fire over I-95.
Holy shit.
Servers came by and I was filming up, taking some pictures, and then I just heard all this machine gun fire and I hit the deck. I didn't know what to expect, and it was one of the loudest things I've ever heard.
Holy shit.
In Miami, Florida, on tape. And they play it off as, oh, this is just military drill.
Take a look, swing back over here. This may be involved in this training or not. Again, let me tell you what all of this is that we know of. It's a joint military training exercise involving local police, also military. They're doing some training exercises partly to meet some of the requirements that they have to do, also to prepare for the military side for some overseas drills, and also so they can make sure that all of their equipment is in check. And
I say no. This report is being made to condition Americans to having military armed with real ammo flying overhead. This isn't right. This violates the federal law and the Constitution. Our military is not supposed to be flying and shooting even blanks 60 feet above traveling cars. Watch this. This is to condition us to what they're doing.
a drill. My team's Mike Marza has some pictures for us explaining what's going on. Mike? Still, if you've seen one of these drills, it really is like a scene out of one of those action movies, choppers stalking the sky of downtown Miami and the like. Let me show you what's happening right in the shadow of the Adrian Arce Center. Police right now have blocked off Biscayne Boulevard, but we believe that is largely because the Miami Heat game is about to be let out at the AAA, which is nearby. But actually, you know what, Nick, if you take a look, swing back over here. This may be involved in this training or not. Again, let me tell you what all of this is that we know of. It's a joint military training exercise involving local police, also military. They're doing some training exercises partly to meet some of the requirements that they have to do, also to prepare for the military side for some overseas drills, and also so they can make sure that all of their equipment is in check and their choppers in the distance. People up on the balconies have been taking some video of this. Someone shot some video of some of these choppers, military-style choppers, flying over 395 in downtown. This was last night. They shot all of this video. Now, the sight is impressive, but just imagine if you could hear some of the activity that was happening here. Let's take a listen to the second piece of video. All right, so some blank rounds of gunfire pinging off the high-rises here in downtown Miami. We saw some official boats with some lights flashing. Unclear on exactly where all of this is going down. We know it's in the greater Miami area, also Miami-Dade County, but police being pretty vague about where exactly they're doing all of this and also for how long. They do say that public safety is their #1 priority, so that's why you see a lot of this activity at night, and they want us to tell you that, again, it is just a military training exercise. But hey, if you happen to see some of this stuff going down, take some video, also take some pictures and send it our way. Send it to 7@WSVN.com. We want you to be safe while doing it. Live in downtown Miami, Mike Marza, 7 News, Night Team.
Holy shit.
Really? The police, he says, the police want us to tell you. And the police are vague. This is preparing you conditioning you to not worry about military helicopters illegally, unlawfully flying over civilian cities in America. Just like when they burned Waco, that church for those Branch Davidians, and they wouldn't let the fire trucks in to shut the fire off because the military was doing, under Janet Reno, the Attorney General at the time, they're conditioning you to be abused by your own military and by foreign military. You ought to think about this long and hard. This isn't normal. This isn't the America I grew up in. It certainly is not the America I grew up in. Taking my hat off for you people that are not busy watching Taj 3.9 or whatever is on the other channels. Most of the mainstream media is not going to show you the things that I've shown you on this channel. Here in Santa Maria, it's channel 25, and Lompoc, Buellton, channel 24. You're watching on the internet. There is some things I would like you to read. I can't guarantee you will do it, but this is a book by Mary E. Webster. It's a book you never see in high schools, and it should be mandatory reading. It's called The Federalist Papers, a Modern English Edition 2. And if you read this, you'll begin to understand what the Founding Fathers had in mind. And what they had in mind, among many things, is freedom of speech. Freedom of speech was to be protected to the nth degree. About 11 years ago, a local newspaper slandered me, maligned me, the Santa Maria Times, I think was the name, to cause me to lose an election. Now they hinted that I was, escaped felon and all this sort of thing. It was lies built on top of other lies. They had to have known these were lies. It was part of the good old boys inside hit job. Of course, I lost that election when I was leading, and I came in last out of 3, but I shouldn't have. I should have won that election for the 5th District Supervisors. But the freedom of press is so well protected, I did not sue them for intentional slander because the standard is so high that you have to prove that in the mind of the writer, they knew they were lying, they knew they were misstating the facts, and they intended to misstate the facts. Now that's almost impossible to do because you have to get the person that did the lies, that created the fraud, to come out and admit that in court. And they're going to say, no, I didn't know this, and oh, I was mistaken. It was just an honest mistake. And so freedom of the press is strongly, or at least used to be strongly protected in the United States. And it should continue to be. And that's why I didn't sue that spurious, misstating truth and twisting things newspaper of Santa Maria. I just let it go. Because I knew if I get into federal court, when you get to the Supremes, they're going to say, freedom of expression, you can't prove what was in the mind of that person. I would have had to have inside memos where they were admitting they knew they were lying. Virtually impossible. They're not going to give you that kind of evidence. So where am I going with this? What you saw was not just one, but 3 different choppers. Now, as you go and watch them go by, and we'll play that at the end of the show again, watch them closely. They're not all the same type of military choppers. 2 of them are spotter choppers, or what we used to do training on at Fort Rutgers and that other fort in Texas when I was a young guy wanting to be a helicopter pilot in the military. And the 3rd one was an attack chopper that was equipped with a .50 caliber or similar machine gun on the side. And when you hear that but, you're hearing machine gun fire in downtown Miami, 60 feet over civilian cars driving down Interstate 95. That's not normal, my friends. I have never seen this. Now the reporter comes on and says, we have it vaguely reported to us by, we're supposed to tell you. no factual, no Colonel so-and-so said this, or captain of the watch for the Miami police said that. No, it's just sort of vaguely hinted to you. This is the worst reporting ever. And that's why I wanted you to see it. And then you saw my analysis. Really? Shooting off machine guns. You're not even supposed to fly below 500 feet over an inhabited city. And here they are, 60 feet, right over the interstate. And this is what's really interesting to me, and why I'll show you that again at the end of tonight's show. Miami, Florida is not Timbuktu, California, or Lost Valley, Nevada. There are millions of people there. They have at least 4 or 5 network anchor stations there, and not one of them got it on their own tape. Really? Don't you think this is interesting, with all the professional people, with all the professional equipment, and it's an independent photographer, videographer. You saw him speaking, you saw his name. He gets it. He's from out of town. He's from Georgia. This is conditioning Americans for martial law. So you'll get used to choppers. And you don't know whether they're firing blanks or if they're just playing a sound effects and not even firing a machine gun. You don't even know if the pilots were German, French, Mexican, American. You don't know. And you're thinking, well, of course, we would never have foreigners flying over America. Oh, yes, we already have, under that wonderful president, George W. Bush, who should have ended his presidency by saying, "Trust me, Americans, I am not a torturer." Of course he was the first president to okay torture. Unthinkable, unthinkable, an American president. All the professionals know that when you torture somebody, they'll say anything you want them to say just to stop the torture. So whatever confession you get out of them is useless. This is one of the things we knew 200 years ago. That's why torture's always been illegal. But not to George W. Bush. And what's more interesting is the Obama-Rama drama, what I call President Obama, who born in Kenya or Hawaii, doesn't matter because his father was a Kenyan, which means he's not natural born. I'm not going to go into that long discussion again, but he did not repeal the torture executive order. He didn't repeal any of it, nor did he hold Bush accountable, nor did he hold Bush's Attorney General Gonzalez accountable. Where is the change? There is none. It's the Bush crime syndicate agenda, carrying out Agenda 21, moving forward without even taking time for a deep breath. Anyway, I thought you needed to see that. Now I've got something a little more lighthearted coming up here. But before we get to that, I want to urge you again to get Mary E. Webster's book. She's actually a descendant of Daniel Webster. And read the Federalist Papers. There's another book, before I forget, I'm going to mention, Where Did the Towers Go? Where did the towers go, people? They didn't just collapse. Remember when you all saw the collapsed freeway from that earthquake in San Francisco, and this freeway about to go over the water, pancaked. There was no billowing clouds of dust. The concrete was still there. It collapsed, but the concrete was still there. The steel pieces was there. But in 9/11, the concrete was atomatized to dust. They didn't find 110 floors of concrete pancake, because had they found that, they would have stuck about 3 floors high to compact 110 concrete floors. They would have stuck at least 2 floors high above the sub-basement, which was blown out to collapse in a perfect demolition job.